Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are doing okay. As you can clearly see, man, I am doing very good. Today, I want to give you a breakdown. Today, I want to give you a step-by-step guide on how to use one proof of funds, on how to use one bank statement to apply for as many visas as you want. A lot of people don't even know this. Oftentimes, a lot of people are used to building bank statements, building proof of funds for like 6 months. And at the end of the day, they are using that bank statement to apply for just one visa. And if they get denied, in many cases, they are left with the option of starting to build another POF again to also apply for just one visa. No, this is an error. That is why I've also clearly stated in my previous contents before now that what you don't know is bigger than you. It is very important for us to continually learn what we don't know. Sometimes people don't even know how this thing works. But today, I will be giving you a breakdown so that you can start taking advantage of this. Because some months ago, I dropped this content here on YouTube. You can scroll down to fact check me. And I have also made this content and dropped it on my other social media platforms. And people used it and they've started giving me feedbacks. One thing about me is that I have a lot of things I am doing. I have dropped so many updates to the extent that I haven't forget some. It is until people who used it and it worked for them reached out to me, I will now say, oh, I remember I made this content. Okay, let me also talk about it. So this is why I am doing this now. So step-by-step guide on how to use one particular bank statement or step-by-step guide on how to use one bank statement, same bank statement to apply for more than 1, 2, 3 visas at the same time. It's confusing, right? What you don't know is clearly bigger than you. Just be ready to learn. Are you ready to learn now? Oh yeah, let's go. In case you are just coming across this my channel for the very first time, my name is Nosa Comedy, the man with the remedy. Many of my fans, they call me Nosa with the source from the source. That is because I bring legit update directly from the source to you, undiluted. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so, because right here, I keep it 100. I keep it 100. Like I have clearly stated in my previous contents, what you don't know is bigger than you. Do well to subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so. And I want to sincerely thank my returning and existing subscribers. Thank you very much for your wavering support. We are doing it. Just imagine, I started posting my personal content here on YouTube last year, and today we are over 51,000 subscribers here. So I'm looking forward for us to hitting 100,000 subscribers, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million subscribers here on YouTube. We can do it. Others have done it. Why can't we? So give this video a big like so that YouTube can recommend this content to other people who might as well be interested. This content is not just for me and you alone. Send the link of this video to your friends, family, and loved ones so that they can learn. Just imagine building POF for 6 months. At the end of the day, you are applying for visa. Just one single visa application, you get denied. Sometimes you are discouraged in starting to build on that POF. So I'm here to make life easier for you. So let's go into this content proper. First, we are going to discuss about using one bank statement to apply for more than 1 or more than 2 visitor visas. And after I give you the breakdown, the step-by-step guide for the visitor visa application, I will come and give you the step-by-step guide for the student visa application, how you can do it with just one POF. Like I have said earlier, people have done it already since I dropped the updates. Many of them don't, they abroad now, they study. So it's now your turn. So for those who like to fact check, the content is here. Please just scroll down. I did it months ago. So now, you have a bank statement. You have built this bank statement for the past 6 months. Now you want to apply for a VV For those who don't know, VV stands for visitor visa. So now, this is the step-by-step on how to apply for, let's say, 3 visas to 3 different countries at the same time with one POF. After this breakdown, I will come and give you that of the student visa breakdown. What you don't know is bigger than you. Now, let's say you are in January. It can be any month. Now, this particular January, you have your POF ready with you. Now, you can apply for a US visa, a Canada visa, and a Schengen visa at the same time. If you like, you can also apply for Australia visa. One thing you have to take note of here is that in these visa applications, the date you have stated in your visa application to visit these countries must be different. Must be at least 1 month or 2 months apart. Now, what am I trying to say? Now, this January, you can apply for a Schengen visa to visit, let's say, France in April of that year, which is 3 months after that application, because you are in January. I'm giving an example. So now that in this January, you have applied for a Schengen visa to France, to visit France in April, you can also apply for a Canada visa to visit Canada, whether for conference, for tourism, vacation, to visit friends, family, and loved ones in, let's say, August. Yes, let's say August. Now, this POF, we are assuming you are still in January. You have applied for 2 now. You can also use this POF to apply for a US visa to visit US in October. Yes, so. Now, you can see the way I spaced these 3 visa applications. May, August, September. So if any of these countries eventually want to give you or grant you visa and they request for your passport, there is time for you to submit your passport, collect one visa, get it back, submit your passport, collect the other visa, get it back, submit your passport, collect the other visa, get it back. There is no limit as long as you have space in your passport. Easy. But we have a situation where we have situations where people will take time, go through stress. And you know, this POF, there are many ways people get it. There are many ways people build it. It is easier for some. It is difficult for some people. So you cannot go through all this stress. And at the end of the day, you are using one POF to apply for one visa. And if you get denied, it is either you are discouraged from starting another POF, or you take the pain again to build another POF for another 6 months to apply for another one visa. It is an error. Whereas there are people now who have been denied visas in the past. They could have used that single POF, that same POF, to apply for as many as 2 or 3 visas at the same time. So you can get denied. Let's say you get denied by Schengen. You get denied by Canada. You can get US. You can even get Canada, US, and Schengen. You can get the 3. Somebody already reached out to me who got 3 visas with this POF format. So I am not telling you something that is not working. I am telling you something that people have been using. I have somebody who is currently studying in Canada like this with this format. So that is why I have clearly stated before that what you don't know is bigger than you. It is just for you to give space to these visa applications. You can't be applying for these 3 visas at the same time and you are putting the same date of visit to these 3 countries. It will not work. There will be conflict. Let's assume you are applying for Canada visa. You said, okay, I want to come to Canada in May of that year. You are applying for US visa. You want to come to Canada, US in May 2nd. You have applied for Canada visa, you want to come to Canada May 2nd or May 1st. There will be conflict. You cannot be in these 3 countries at the same time. That is why you have to give space. And the space is very, very important because of your passport submission. Because you will need to submit your passport to get these visas. So you want to give space so that if you submit your passport, within few days, 1 week or 2, you've already been given or granted one visa. If the other country you apply to say submit your passport to get your visa, passport is already with you. You are submitting your passport now to get visa number 2. I dropped this update before people even knew that they could apply for multiple visas at the same time. They never knew. Some people were even thinking it was illegal. It is not illegal. It is very, very legal. There is no place they wrote it that you cannot apply for multiple visas at the same time. The most important thing here for you to note is for you not to conflict the time of your arrival in that country. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. So that is one thing you have to know. Now, to those who intend to study abroad, this is how you can do this package. Now, let's say you have built your POF to study abroad. Now, don't forget, there are many schools abroad that have application fee waiver. There are many schools abroad that don't need you or require you to pay application fee. So, while there are some, they require you to pay application fee, maybe $50, $150, $200, as the case may be. Now, there are people who don't want to waste one single month, or they don't want to waste one single session in their countries. They want to get this admission ASAP. So those people, they do whatever it takes to get this thing. And how can you do this? Let's say you apply to study in Malta. I'm just giving an example. You have applied to study in Malta. You have also applied to a school in Canada after you applied for admission to a school in Malta. You have applied to a school in Malta. You have applied to a school in Canada. You have also applied to a school here in the US. 3 schools. If it's possible, you can pay application fees to these 3 schools and also try to get other schools, if it is 2, where they have application fee waiver. So you can pay admission fee. You can pay application fee to 3 schools in 3 different countries and also apply to study in other schools, like maybe 2 or 3 schools where application fee is waived. Now you have applied to study in 6 schools. And these 6 schools can be in 6 countries. They can be in 4 countries. They can be in 3 countries. They can be in 2 countries, depending. Now, you have 6 schools. 3, you paid application fee. 2, you did not pay application fee. So there is nothing to lose here. Now, let's say at the end of the day, from these 4, 5, or 6 schools, let's say 3 gives you admission. Now, you have 3 schools to work with. And mind you, this whole thing, it is the same section. Let's say these 3 schools now, they are all starting in September. For example, it can be any month. They are starting in September, October. Now, from 6 schools you apply to, with one POF, you have one POF in mind. Now, 3 schools from 3 countries give you admissions. Now, what do? If, mind you, before you apply to these schools, they must have refund policy. And you must make sure that there are schools where you don't have to pay gigantic tuition deposit. There are many schools abroad where you can pay as low as $300 as tuition deposit. There are schools where you can pay $500 as tuition deposit. And they will tell you that if you don't get visas, they will refund your money to you. You must find out these things first before choosing these schools, because I don't want you to waste money. Now, from these 3 schools that are left, you are paid, let's say you are paid tuition deposit, $500 to one, $400 to one, $1,000 to one. Now listen, these 3, they do refund. Because like I said, you must have ascertained this during the beginning of your application submission to these schools. So you already know they will refund you. So now, let's say from these 3 schools, you have applied for visa to these 3. It must not be the same day. It can be different days or different weeks apart. You can even apply for that visa the same day. You are not going to the embassy to apply. You are doing the application from your room, from your home. So you can submit these 3 applications. So now, for Canada, usually you go for biometrics. Usually, you don't do interview. For US, you do interview. Schengen, you do interview in many cases. Now, because Canada, they don't do interview, that may not be too much of a problem. And also don't forget, in many cases, you are the one to choose your interview date for the USO. So you are going to choose a date that is more convenient for you, or a date that is available that suits your schedule. Now, US visa interview may be November. You might go for that US visa interview in November and they give you visa. Once they give you visa, you have arrived, if that is your first choice. After them giving you visa, there is no need for you to even pursue any of these ones you have applied for. And if eventually, at the end of the day, you are unable to get visas to these countries, you ask for your refund from these 2. Because don't forget, before you applied for this visa, you already asked the school. You already saw that their refund policy is there. They do refund if you don't get visas. So if at the end of the day, you are granted the Canada visa to come and study in Canada, you are granted a visa to come and study in the US, choose. Just choose. These are things I have been doing behind the scenes. So I have dropped this update way back, but I have worked in close proximity with like 1 or 2 people that these things worked for. So you not choose. Yankee has given you visa. While you are preparing to come to the Yankee to come and study, Canada just granted their own visa. Choose. And sometimes, these 3 schools you have applied to, these 3 might not even give you might not even get visas to these 3 countries. But it boosts your chances, because that POF, before you can build it again, it will take time. It will take time. You understand? So that is why it is very, very important for you to know these things. Start using one bed, or start using one stone to knock multiple beds at the same time. So this is how it is. People already got these visas like this. It's not every time we come here to come and talk. I cannot come here and mention people's names. Because even if you get that visa now, you will not want to just come here and mention your name. Like, we Africans, we like to stay private. Not until we reach that country, we don't even want to tell anybody that we have visas. We like to travel quietly. So I cannot come here now and say, because I have been working with these people, for me to come out. And when I say working with them, it's not like I collected money. It just happened that they needed my one-on-one counseling, like how to go. And this service or services are absolutely free. So this is how you guys can use one POF to get multiple visas. And do well to share the link of this video to your friends and loved ones so that they can learn. So, and I believe I have done justice to this topic. And look out for my next content right here on YouTube. Thank you very much for your support, guys. God bless you all.